Hey, what's up, babe? Finally getting around to watching your videos here. Yeah, I like the three sets because it gives you an opportunity to really hone in and, get it right, and, we have to keep putting weight on the bar, and there's a range between like acceptable and obviously like not acceptable, and, getting practice with the weight kind of forces you to learn how to do it and adapt to it right there and then. So, watching these videos, like one thing I was noticing is kind of this knee slide, okay? This is what I want you to pay attention to on these next couple videos, okay? So, you start squatting and your knees kind of slide forward and they keep sliding forward as you come down. So, what this tells me is that the bar in the center of mass is actually shifting forward as we come down. And when we go to stand up, what needs to happen is now the bar needs to be over the middle foot. So the hips will shift back and the knees pull back a slightly to get it over to the midfoot. Okay? Now just pay attention to that because on your last set was your best set, and they were awesome. So I'm just gonna take one of them here. Let's see this one, and I just want you to watch your knees as you come down, and notice how they're set there, and they stay there. They don't gradually keep moving forward. They get set right there, and they stay there. The majority of your reps on this last set were just like that, and I just noticed a lot better balance in your knees and your hips, and I think it's a direct result from you being aware of your movements, and you know you have three chances to get it right. So I think you did a great job here, and progressively, like each set got better and better, and this is what we want, and this is what skill acquisition, like this is what happens when we consistently squat or do a movement and we add a little bit of weight to the bar and we do multiple sets. Is like I said, you get an extra chance to get it right, because you might not know exactly what is causing the issue or causing you to feel off balance or whatever, but your body's smart, and you could take a stab at it, and it ends up very beautiful like this last set. So good job with that, babe. Super excited. Yeah, these look pretty good. How was the adjustment on reducing it down to one plate? I mean, it doesn't really seem like it was that big of an adjustment, and we could eventually take these more towards the floor into a higher volume, and then eventually go in the opposite direction, and we could start slowly elevating it. There's very actually a few very successful deadlift programs that actually do something similar to what we're doing, but I like the progression of like starting with a high deficit, then slowly lowering you down to the floor over the course of a few months, and then start elevating you. And that way, like, we kind of like train all spectrums of the range of motion. So we could take this any direction that we want, and that would be kind of my logical approach on that. And of course, if you feel the same way, we could go in that direction. But yeah, good job keeping your shoulders in front of the bar. I know it's a little bit an adjustment, and it's kind of like majoring in the minors. It's like, well, is the descend really that important? I mean, it really is if we're doing multiple reps in a row, but you do a great job setting it back in the same spot. And because you're in an elevated state, elevated stance, the bar needs to be a little bit more forward of midfoot, because you're actually going to have more ankle and knee flexion. But I think these are great. I don't see anything wrong with these. And sandbag carries, I'm super happy that you know, went as far as you could. You know, I feel like with an event like this, going for 1 minute, like if you could go for an entire minute, like that's pretty damn good. And if you could go more for a minute, we'll be able to squeeze some extra work capacity out of that. And then, if you can do it for longer than a minute, all we have to do is just walk faster with it, and then we're going to go further. So, just a couple things to keep in mind on these. You could implement, turning in the opposite direction just in case they have some sort of restriction on that. And we could also train this by just stepping our foot over the line because they might not have cones to walk around. So just kind of keep that in mind when we're training this event, and just be creative with it as far as different ways to train it, just so we're not shocked or surprised. So, but this was a great overall training session, and I'm really happy with how things are going, and I hope you are too. And I miss you, and I love you, and I'll talk to you later.